There's another obvious question. David.
Well, church is here, Father. I can go out in the woods with a bow and arrow and a good cigar and a thermos of coffee.
And worship God.
And worship God,
Exactly.
right?
That's not the obvious question I was looking for, but I'll take that one.
Okay.
Now, to start with, remember what we said that God wrote in our hearts, to give him regular, public, outward, visible worship. Okay? So Dave going out with the bow and arrow and worshiping God in the woods, don't cut it. Okay, that doesn't fulfill what God has written into our hearts. That's a nice thing to do on a Tuesday, to worship God anytime, or after Mass, whatever it might be. But we are bound to give him regular, public, outward, visible worship. But here's the other thing. Who gets to decide how we're going to worship God? God does. Not Dave, not me, not you. God says, go to Mass on Sunday. That's how we are to worship him. We don't get to say, oh God, I'm going to do it this other way. God shows us how to worship him. It's not up to us. That's what I want to tell some of these people that give me this excuse. Well, Father, I'm a Catholic, but I just, go in my car on Sunday and go get coffee and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Is that what God told you to do on Sunday? No. God said go to Mass. You don't get to decide. Okay. So it's really, for the person who knows that they should be going to Sunday Mass and who chooses not to, who says, well, I can do this in some other way, it's really an insult to God. It's saying, I don't want to do it God's way. I want to do it my way. No, that's not how it works. We want to worship God as God has shown us to worship him. The obvious question I was looking for is I explain how the Sunday Mass is the source and sum of the Christian life. What about all those Christians that can't go to Sunday Mass, who don't go to Sunday Mass, who have no idea about going to Sunday Mass? It's an interesting question, isn't it? Pope Benedict gave a brilliant answer to this question. And his answer shows us as Catholics the responsibility that we have to go to Sunday Mass. Here's the answer. The good Protestant folks that don't have any understanding about Sunday Mass, the Eucharist being the source and summit of the Christian life, for the most part, it's not their fault. They were raised as Lutherans, they were raised as Methodists. They are in good faith. Okay? And we already talked about this. There's a lot of bonds of communion that we have with them. The Bible and our love for Jesus and some of the sacraments, baptism and so forth and so on. Pope Benedict said that, remember that everyone who's baptized is part of the body of Christ, right? Everyone who's baptized is part of the body of Christ, whether you're Catholic or Lutheran or Methodist or whatever. There's only one church. It's just that some aren't in perfect communion with the one church. But there still is only one church, there still is only one body. What happens when the lips take in eggplant parmesan for dinner? Does that benefit the toe? Sure it does, right? The food that the mouth takes in benefits the toe. The food that the Catholic takes in benefits the non-Catholics. Because the Eucharist that we participate in on Sunday, the grace that we receive, pulses through the whole body. Now, do you see what that means for us as Catholics? The responsibility that we have to participate in Mass. Because the grace that we receive, we don't know how many people that helps in the one body of Christ. That's a pretty awesome thing to ponder. And for us as Catholics, we have a place at the Sunday Mass. Remember we talked about giving the sacrifice of our life. The sacrifice of our life that we unite to Jesus' sacrifice at the Sunday Mass really means something. We might just seem like we're some anonymous person in the pew sometimes, but that's not how God sees it. Every single person that participates in Sunday Mass is extremely important to the health of the body of Christ. Every single person who gives their life to Jesus in that moment, Sunday Mass, once again uniting their life, that the good that springs forth from that is an infinite good from every person. Okay. So you see why I don't want to just, I had to hammer it home before because I want you all who are becoming new Catholics to understand the obligation that you are taking on. Yeah. We have to be clear about that. But at the same time, I hope that you can see that this isn't just a negative precept. Not at all. It's a positive thing. God needs you there. God doesn't need you there because he needs you there. He needs you there because he has chosen to need you there. Follow that? Yes. He has chosen in his humility to say, I need to work through you. I need you there at Sunday Mass so that I can work through you. This is why it's such a grave sin. You know, sometimes people ask that question. You mean if I purposely miss one Sunday Mass and die, I'll go to hell? Yes. This is a big deal. You're part of the family of God. And to not go to Sunday Mass is to say, I don't want to be part of the family of God. That's why it's so serious.
What if you're able to make it to the weekly masses?
No, Sunday Mass. Because Sunday Mass is where the whole church gathers as the one body of Christ. It's great to go to the weekly Masses.
Well, like for the people that work, like, you know,
Yes.
like they're talking about.
Oh yeah, well that would be okay. But it's not a substitution. So that should be kept in mind. You can't substitute a daily Mass for the Sunday Mass because the Sunday Mass is the whole church gathered together. The weekday Mass is great, but it's not the Sunday Mass. The Sunday Mass has the highest of importance. Yep.
What about I think somebody asked about the Saturday.
Yes, good question. In the Jewish way of, was it you that asked that? Okay. In the Jewish way of understanding the passage of time, the next day starts at sundown. So that's why when they went to bury Jesus from the cross, they had to hurry because the sun was going down, and the next day was Sabbath, and you can't bury anybody on the Sabbath. So they had to get Jesus in the tomb before the sun went down. So when you read the Passion narratives, you'll see that. So, like, right now, in the Jewish mind, would be tomorrow. Yeah, it would be Wednesday already for the Jew. Okay? So, we as Christians have adopted that way of time. Now, even though we don't wait till sundown, the Pope has said that 4 p.m. is when evening starts. And he's the Pope, so he can say that. Okay? So anything after 4 p.m. on Saturday night is counted as part of Sunday. Now, Sunday is the whole day Sunday till midnight, because he's the Pope. And the
So
Pope,
time stretches for the Pope.
that's right. The Pope has determined that Sunday Mass is fulfilled from 4 p.m. on Saturday all the way through midnight on Sunday. And that counts for the holy days too, 4 p.m. on the night before, all the way to midnight on holy days.
Not to split hairs, but like the beginning of Mass or the end of Mass? I'm thinking of, I never thought of it, like Sunday, all the way up till midnight,
Yes.
like the start of Mass?
I think for midnight it would be the start of Mass. But the 4 p.m. has to be the start of Mass, 4 p.m. or after.
I have a question that came up very recently. We went to a wedding that had a full Catholic Mass,
Mhm.
and it was on a Saturday.
What time?
That was the thing. It was at
2 o'clock.
Doesn't
so
count.
2 o'clock. So
Doesn't count, it can't count.
they took communion, but then they went to church again
Yes.
after 4.
Yes.
And that was okay, even though, because it wasn't considered the same day according to.
No, you can take communion twice in a day.
Oh, okay. That was the other thing that came up.
Yeah, and that's in a calendar day.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter, it doesn't cross over for Sunday Mass as far as taking communion goes. So you could take communion on Saturday night and then go to 2 Masses on Sunday and take communion twice. And it wouldn't be 3 times because that was on the calendar. I'm glad you got a calendar.
Good know, it's good to know, because it came up, we were talking about.
And the reason for that, I mean, it seems like we have all these little rules, but there are reasons for the rules.
People ask them.
With the communion rule, there were some people that were falling into superstition and just going from Mass to Mass to Mass to Mass to Mass, receiving the Eucharist. Well, that's an abuse, that's really not a respectful way to receive the Lord. So that's why the church is 2 times only on
So you don't get bonus points for taking it more than
No. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
Father, when Sunday Mass, like if somebody's late, what is
The
the
creed.
ruling? The creed?
You get in by, we believe.
Okay. Word.
Yes. Yeah, that's a sin.
It's rude.
It's a sin to leave early. unless you have a legitimate reason to, or some people do sometimes. You know, getting out of the parking lot first is not a legitimate reason.
You ever see, I mean,
Getting to Halls before the line goes long.
you ever touch on it? I mean, every once in a
Oh,
while.
you know what, I have in the past,
Uh-huh.
but
Good for you.
it's so futile that it's not even worth me doing it, because, I mean, they just go back to doing what they're gonna do.
Those people are reading the bulletin during your Halloween anyway.
That's right.
You know, and here's the thing about that, here's the thing about that is that, you know, in the end, nobody gets away with anything. God sees everything. It's like these people think God doesn't see them walking on a mass really.
What's actually considered the end of Mass?
When I say the mass is ended, go in peace. That's what I mean. You don't have to stay for the final song if you don't want to.
Oh,
It's nice to stay for
We
the
were
final song.
taught though in grade school that it was once the priest walked out.
No, once I say the mass is ended, the mass
Probably
is ended.
common courtesy, you know.
It's actually when
Yeah.
it's actually when you respond, thanks be to God, that's when the mass
Okay.
is ended, yes. So the secret between you and me is you don't actually have to stay for the final song. But don't tell anybody else that.
Especially that scene, right?
Anything else? All right, fasten your seatbelts for next week. Commandments 4 through 10 are quite a ride. Glory be to
To
the
the Father,
Father,
and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
and to the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. See you next Tuesday.